Hello guys, in this 9 CSS video tutorial I am Code with Devil. We are doing CSS height, width and box model. Width and height resizes the image on both X and Y axis scale. I mean it stretches or magnify an image width-wise or height-wise. And you must note that the height-width attribute does not include padding and margin. For instance, I will create a div element here to illustrate what I am saying. I'll just write some text. So this text by default, it has a default margin and padding as we saw in the previous tutorial, and it also has a border. It has three default elements: a border around it that is not visible, a margin and a padding. All those ones are not included in the height and the width. I will use a CSS background color. I'll identify that div. You see the border and the padding themselves. Let me say just ABC, a default border around it, a margin and a padding. So let us include the height and the width attribute. For example, width, you can use CSS value measurements, for example 1 centimeters, but the SI unit is a pixel, so that is a centimeter. Just be using a pixel. Let me say for example 200 pixel. So 200 pixel, the width is defining the length on x-axis or horizontal one. You can use even percentages and any other measurements. The same apply to height. So if you set the height attribute, for example 300 pixel, so it will set vertical wise or along the y-axis. So that's the difference between height and width. We have other formats of expressing width and height. Maximum width 50%. Maximum width specify the limit point of the width length. Also apply the same to height. You can also set the maximum height of this element 100 pixel. Maximum height of this text is at 100 pixel. It reaches 100 depending on the size of the screen. That will be the maximum value. So if we have maximum, then we have minimum. So you can set maximum and minimum at random. The minimum, for example, height is 20 pixel. Applying the same to width 10 means that the minimum width is between 10 to 50%, and the minimum height or the height value is between 20 pixel to 100 pixel. So whenever you'll be resizing this object depending on the size of the browser or screen area, then it will be responsive between the value constraints. So that is the application of maximum width and minimum width. So you can set the height and width attribute on any HTML element. For example, an image. Let me set this image. So this is a phone image. Hope you know how to insert images in HTML. This is the default height and width of its original image. You can set the height and the width attribute. Just use 100 pixel. The height of the image is 100 and the width you can just say 300 pixel. 200 is better, and here I will use also 200 better. You can resize any HTML element using height and width attribute. A box model includes margin, border, padding and the HTML content itself. This photo you are seeing, a box model, it will take a margin length plus border length plus padding length plus content length. The total length will count to a box model. So box model is a container that wraps an HTML element. I will use a practical example. Include some padding on this image. Padding is 10 pixel. So I want to determine the box model of this image. Obvious, I'm expecting that it is height 200 plus 200 for width plus 10 plus 10. The reason why I'm taking twice the padding is because we have the padding left and the padding right. If you want to know the total width along the x-axis, then you have to add padding twice. Same applying to the height. If you want to find the height of this image, then we have padding top and padding bottom. You just include that one. Because I'm interested with the width itself, then I'm not interested with the height. So just use 200 plus 10 plus 10 is 220. How can we prove this? We can just create a div down here. I'll just remove these texts, create a border with the same width. So this is what I'm meaning. Just create a border to see with the eyes. Then I set the width I'm interested. I'm applying 220. So you'll see that there's a box model of this image. You can just include also height so that you see it very 50 pixel. The width of this border is exactly the same as the box model of this image. So we are including the margin. This is the margin left plus the width of this image beginning from here to here, then plus the margin right with its padding. It will account the total box model. Our box models are highly applied when dealing with website layout. They will be highly applicable in website layouts. We shall be regrouping box model of every element in the body section of the browser, widely used in the frameworks. Next tutorial, let's do CSS outline. Remember this, what is left today unresolved will disturb you tomorrow the most.